Hey there, beer tubers. Welcome back to Maxwell Starr's Beer Review. Tonight we're going to take a look at Heineken. Heineken quality. It is a beer from Holland, one of the more famous, popular European lagers out there. Brewed in Amsterdam by the Heineken Brewing Company. One of the few large big brewing companies that still owns their own beer. They own a number of other smaller breweries as well. Won medals, Médaille d'Or Paris in 1875 and 1889. Whatever. Not really a whole lot to say about this particular beer other than it's Heineken. Everybody's heard of Heineken if you know beer. One of the more popular European lagers out there. So let's, without further ado, let's crack the top off of this thing and give this thing a look. It's got the typical Heineken Red Star cap on there, all green, with the green bottle. Classic green bottle. There's a pour here. Pours a straw yellow color, maybe a hint brassy. Mainly, yeah, straw color. Came up here, my Pilsner glass, about a finger of large bubbled Poofy head. It looks like a beer. I mean, it's Heineken. Come on. So, let's give it a sniff. There is a little hint of a bready, grainy note, but it's mainly this smell, this herbal smell that you would typically find in your European lagers. That said, it's not absolutely present. It's a very mild smell, and there's a touch of this bready, boiled vegetable kind of smell. It does smell like a pot of boiled vegetables, like green beans or something. But a lot of that, I think, is coming from the use of noble hops. If that's indeed what they use, it smells like an herbal kind of quality. So they were trying to create this in the vein of a Pilsner or something, but it's from Holland. Even sloshing it around really doesn't kick up a lot of aroma. It's just smells like Heineken. Anyway, cheers. It's got a lingering herbal hop bitterness. But it's only a touch lingering, and it lingers in like the very back of the mouth. You don't get any flavors up front, and it fades into like a vegetable kind of pale malt sweetness that lingers in the center of the palate and down back. And that's pretty much what dominates your taste. This little, somewhat malty sweetness counterbalanced by a bit of a herbal hoppy bitterness. We get a touch peppery in the back. That said, it actually finishes quite dry, and it's very light. Not that, most lagers aren't light, especially pale lagers. But, I mean, it does have a little bit of a weight to it, but it's fairly medium light, bordering on light. I think there is a Heineken light, but, I mean, if it were any lighter than this, it'd probably float. It's just a light beer. Of course, you'd expect that from a lager like this. It does have that little bit of that pale malt sweetness in the back. Is probably a characteristic flavor that would keep people coming back for more. Anyway, I'm going to sit down with this one for a bit and I'll come back with some thoughts. Be right back. And we're back with Heineken. So what did I think about Heineken? What can be said about Heineken that already hasn't been said? It's your average, basic European pale lager from Holland. Everybody who's drank beer probably knows of or has had a Heineken in their past. I know I've had this on numerous occasions, and while it's not my favorite, it's not bad either. In fact, I gotta say that it's at least better than average. While drinking it, I got reminded of Rolling Rock for some reason, but I think it does a much better job of being Rolling Rock than Rolling Rock does. Like, this actually was a nice, smooth, easy drinking pale lager. It has some decent flavors, but nothing to write home about or anything. It's just your basic beer. One thing I gotta say about it is it goes down smooth and leaves that herbal taste in the very back. A little sort of a sweet pale malt kind of taste. It's an average beer. There's a lot of macro beers that I would rather have this over. Like, for example, I'd rather have this than a Coors Light or a Corona or like a Budweiser or something. I probably would rather have a Moosehead than this. But irregardless, it's not a bad beer. It's just, I mean, there's probably a lot of people out there that would shun a Heineken or say, "You gross, that's Heineken," or "Man, that skunk outside smells like Heineken in here." I didn't think it was incredibly bad, but it's not my favorite. And when it comes to a European pale lager, it's not my favorite there either. I don't think this, as far as pale lagers go, I'd rather have a Grolsch over this, to be honest. I'd actually really like Grolsch compared to this one. But as for me, I think it's a basic, it's your basic average lager, but I would say it's a slightly better than average. So I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to give this a high 2.5. That's the first time I've ever awarded that rating. A high 2.5 out of 5 for a rating. Just because, I mean, if you've got to drink something that's a macro-produced swill, this isn't the worst thing you can do. I mean, say if you've got a choice between this, Coors Light, or Canadian or something on a flight to Toronto or something like that, which has happened to me before. Heineken. Yeah, get a Heineken. It's not the greatest lager out there, but at least it's better than some of the other ones you might find at a bar, or on a flight, or on a boat, or something like that. Could be worse, could be better, but if you have to, this is probably the better of the options. So a high 2.5 out of 5 for me for Heineken. And thank you for watching Maxwell Starr's beer reviews. And I will talk to you later. Cheers.